last to fall. I won't shed a tear for them to see. And I won't have your name to call. 'Cause I will be the last to fall.
Hello, welcome back. So we've got our cast and crew here. We're going to introduce everybody, and then we'll jump right into the action. Before we do, everyone, though, I wanted to mention again a thank you to our sponsors. So, of course, Mage Hand Press. We just finished up the Dark Matter finale recently. It should be up on YouTube. Another sci-fi show, very cool stuff. Also, Cult Divinity Lost from Modifius, who makes this awesome Star Trek Adventures game, and specifically the Klingon expansion that we're using right now for this game. So thank you again, everybody that sponsors. And I mentioned one. So let's start with our top left with Dev. Tell us a little bit about Kolek and introduce yourself.
Hey everybody, I'm Dev. Happy to be back playing. I'm playing Kolek today. He's the ship's surgeon and medical officer and an official tribble wrangler after last week. So I'm excited to get back to the action.
Awesome. Next we've got Kat. Tell us a quick bit about Tavana and a quick introduction.
Hi, I'm Kat. Tavana is Tavana is the eldest child of a house that is trying to regain its positions, and she's ready to kill something and drink blood wine.
That's fair. That's very fair. Next, let's hop over to Shauna. Quick introduction and tell us just a bit about J'adore.
Of course. Yes, I'm Shauna Flying Source, and I'm playing J'adore, the ship's engineer, intense engineer, who is houseless. She grew up at the merchants on the edge of Klingon space and has a very low patience for any social climbing or anything requiring that. So
very cool. And next we've got Buster. Tell us a little about Baj, the captain, and quick introduction of yourself.
Buster Ochpamudje. I play Baj, who is, as Raven said, the captain of this vessel. She is somebody who was in the IK, or was it the IKS? Yeah, KDF. She was in the KDF and then punished and put into the officer exchange program with Starfleet for many, many years, and then came back and was brought back into the KDF after the fall of Gowron, who was the one who may have put her in the Federation. But anyway, or in Starfleet for a while. So yeah, she'll let you know. Baj will let you know. And that's all I got to say about her. And then of course I'm Buster. Hi. I'm cool.
Hi.
I'm nice. Nice AF.
Awesome. And then last but not least, we will have Anna joining us in just a bit. But Namaria 941 plays Valkyris, and Valkyris is sort of the ship's sort of scholar and archaeologist. A very, very cool character. So we'll meet them later. So quick recap. What happened last session? As you know, there were tribbles on the ship, which was a big problem. And then as we learned later, Q had some influence on the situation and made it a whole lot more interesting with giant mutant killer tribbles, which you all handled quite well to defeat all of those and get rid of them before they did too much damage to the ship. I know Jador probably had their work cut out for them with a lot of the repairs afterwards, but the ship was relatively in one piece. I don't think you lost life support or anything at any point. So you handled that challenge very well. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward us past the repairs and say that you are now well on your way in the Gamma Quadrant. And after reviewing the information that you received from the Breen on Deep Space Nine, you know that your location is a planet called Gallet 3, which is in the Gallet system, and it is run by the Vorta. The information that you got was originally provided via a Ferengi ship, and you know that they sold what you think is the Sword of Kahless to someone on this planet, to a Vorta. So you're tracking down that lead in this not exactly a cold trail, but you certainly feel like your clues and leads are a bit thin. So diplomacy might be your best option here, but given that you just went through a battle with a bunch of tribbles, I'm not sure how diplomatic you're all feeling, so we'll find out. Yeah, you're well on your way to Gallet 3. You'll be there within the day. So what's life look like on the ship right now?
My armor is getting cleaned.
Clean armor is important.
You don't want to smell like a Klingon. Not all the time.
Is it possible to not smell like a Klingon on a Klingon bird of prey?
Yes. We all have new, what is it? We probably have new, what are those things called? Tribbles. We have new tribble, pelts, that have been really, they're really looking good on us, guys.
Everybody's got a new strip across their uniform. Was it,
Yeah.
we have seat covers now on the bridge?
Triple seat covers. I love that.
Yeah. Two of the smaller ones have little dots on them now and are kind of hanging over the front viewer.
We're terrible people.
Yes,
You know
we are.
what? For coming up with stuffed tribble fuzzy dice for your ship, I'm going to give you all a point of momentum for that, because that's just amazing.
Klingon
okay,
dice.
so you've
They're not the usual.
yeah. So you've tricked out your ship, or at least the bridge, with tribble furred items. What are things looking like in the engine room now that you've gotten all those repairs done? What's Jador up to?
It's probably been a real rough couple days for Jador. She probably hasn't slept very much. She's probably forcing her fellow engineers to work just as hard. Like, just these tribbles ate everything, the wiring. So it's been almost a complete overhaul of the ship in like a few days. So I think most of the crew probably know not to. She's probably inches away from like snapping at somebody if it's not like related to this engineering. She's like very tired.
Yeah, Tavana would have been down helping.
I can imagine.
She could when she was on the bridge.
Okay, cool. I'm kind of imagining like Ractagino mugs scattered everywhere in the engine room,
Yes,
possibly.
constantly. Yeah.
Okay.
New pot brewed every
Is there
just on the ready.
Yeah. Is there anything that you'd like to do before you get to Gallet, aside from the repairs? Anything that you or Tavana would like to do in the engine room? No was okay too.
I don't
Can't.
think so. Yeah, I can't think of.
Yeah, just
Okay.
making sure that our cloaking is up to par.
You know, we don't want what happened last time to happen. Like, just make sure it's a new.
Yep.
It's experimental. We want to make sure like it's gone through its tests again. Make sure the power cycling's normal.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything's working perfectly. Any diagnostics that you run come back with the ship is in perfect condition. So, well done there. And let's hop over to the infirmary with Kolek. You obviously saw a lot of things biologically that no one's ever seen before. Are you doing any experiments or tests or anything around that, or are there other things that you're doing during this time?
I think, despite my curiosity and the general academic curious bent of the many of us on the crew, I've respected the best advice to sort of destroy as much of the enemy as possible. So I've probably been spending more time in the engine room, just making sure, as my memory serves, Jadur was the one who sort of got the most teeth in that scrap. So just making sure that everybody underneath her gets a chance to see the really beautiful scar that's developing there.
Fantastic. All right. And then hopping back over to the bridge, Aj, is there anything that you would like to do while you're still in transit to Gallet 3?
I'm listening to Earth opera. I'm listening to something. I'm sorry. I'm listening to something from Carmen, and I make the off comment to somebody nearby as Habanera plays. You know, most human opera is about the woman dying, and it takes her 5 acts to do it. It's very interesting. Our operas are about people dying, but it does not take them 5 acts. So, there's that. Is what it is.
Oh my goodness.
Computer, shut off Carmen.
The music stops. Just the mental image of hearing that song playing on a Klingon bridge is amazing.
That one's dun 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 na 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 na. Habanera, Carmen, look it up, kids. Get educated.
Yeah.
Yes. I used to work in
it's a
opera,
great song.
so
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Well, then it sounds like things are relatively uneventful on the rest of the way to the Gallet system. As you arrive, again, this takes several hours to get there from where you were when we started. So plenty of time to do everything we just mentioned. As you arrive at the system, would you like to scan anything, or are you pretty much just going to go straight towards the planet? How curious are you, I guess I should say, as you enter the system?
I, as captain, would say that Baj, I guess I would say because she was fighting with the Federation during the Dominion War, I assume she's probably been to the Gamma Quadrant a little bit, but I would assume like her personally would be very curious because there's a lot of stuff over here that she and pretty much everybody on the ship has never seen before. So she'd be the kind of person who'd be like, keep scans going while we're getting there for security reasons, but also for the sake of knowing things, if that makes sense.
We are here
Yeah.
to look for expansion of the Klingon Empire, which means
Yes.
scanning planets, scanning moons, looking for signs of life, military factories,
Or places that
ships.
Klingons can also settle on too, yeah.
Yes, yeah, but you can't tell unless you scan them all. You want to
Exactly.
make sure that you want to make sure there are no Vorta hiding under a rock.
Exactly.
Okay. In that case, I will need someone to do a probably insight and um, really just about any of the disciplines would work for this particular role. Depending on which discipline you use will yield different information. But it's going to be a difficulty 3 to get the best information. Um, so, who would like to do a scan first? You can do multiple scans from different consoles or stations.
I'll go because I got a roll set up. Instead of
Okay.
security.
It's going with security with looks like 2 successes. So you do get some information. In regards to security, you scan the system and you can tell that there are 6 planets in this system, ranging from Class M even to 1 Class Y planet.
Oh wow.
Many of the many of the planets have different moons. Gallet 3, you can see, has 1 moon, whereas the other planets range from none to all the way up to 12. It's a pretty diverse system in terms of how the planets are made up. Some of those moons rather can support life, and in that regards, the system is pretty full of life. You don't immediately see any threats. Coming from the security perspective, there's nothing that seems imminently dangerous. Most of the planets are pretty agrarian, including Gallet 3, which is the one you're going to. But there are several blind spots from where you're at, so you do know that you are not able to see everything from your current position with long-range scanners. So there's always the possibility there could be other things. You could go explore that further if you wanted to, or you can go directly to your destination. Choice is yours. That's all the information you get for security. Did anybody want to scan from a different station for a different discipline?
Khan would like to. I'd like to scan from the Khan to look for specific kinds of like settlements, that type of thing.
Okay.
Using the sensors.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. Using the ship sensors. Go ahead and be scanning for how many settlements we can find, large cities, industrialization, that kind of thing.
Okay. So again, it's going to be 3 successes to get the most information. If I remember right, Tavana has some focuses that have to deal with Khan, right? Or I may be
yes.
misremembering.
She has computers. Yeah, I have computers as a focus
Okay.
as well. And I also have a talent that when I'm attempting a task assisted by the ship's computers or sensors, I can re-roll a d20.
Okay.
If needed. So,
with that focus, we'll drop it down to 2 successes needed, and the talent would apply as well. Give me 1 second, just need to do something. There we go. So Insight Con, we got 2 successes. Fantastic. So you do get the most information that you can with long-range scanners from where you're currently located. So you can see that Gallet 3 has a lot of farmland. There's a lot of settlements that are scattered, so there's a lot of distance between them. But there are some larger cities, including the very originally named Gallet City, which is on the planet you're going to, which is the largest spaceport. But the planet is largely forest, with some areas that have been obviously cleared out for fields. They grow tula berries here, and that's about all you can see as far as settlements go for this planet specifically. Looking out further into the system, you do see that there are some settlements on those habitable moons, and they seem to be very small. You got the maximum number of successes that you needed, so I will say you probably notice just on the edge of the sensors, some of those moons have signs of technology, such as like phasers, photon torpedoes, that sort of thing. So you can tell there are some cultures or cities or settlements or something like that in the system that do have military equipment. But you're not able to tell like who they are or like what faction it belongs to, or if it would be hostile towards you or anything like that. But just on the edge of the scanners, you do see that there are some weapons out there and ships.
I put all of that in the ship systems and let the captain know that some of these moons are armed, and they are well armed, and they're mapped on the system.
So, Baaj, given that information, is there anything else you want to do, or do you want to do any more scouting or go straight to your destination?
She just looks at all of you. Suggestions, concerns.
Seems like a
Let us. Oh, go ahead.
pretty spread out network of settlements out on the moons and then the farms surrounding the cities. A lot of haystack to look through. But
Well, let us proceed to what we came here to do, and then from there we can try other things as needed. And so this is,
Okay.
she would want to, she wants to approach and basically just start going and busting some heads as well, shaking down some people, figuring things out, finding this dang sword. Gotta shake him.
All right. Well, as you're heading to the spaceport on the planet, real quickly to catch up, Anna, you're currently in the Gallet system in the Gamma Quadrant, going to Gallet 3, which is where your last lead had you going to find out what Vorda bought that sword from the Ferengi that were there. The planet says, or the words are hard today. The system has 6 planets. There are lots of moons scattered throughout there, and currently there were some scans taking place to look for information. And the rules are insight, but depending on what discipline you use, you get different information. So currently there's been a security and a con scan, but you still have time on your way to your location to make a couple more scans if anybody wants to make some different ones. Muted. There, Anna. And Jador and Kolek, you have that option as well, if you would like. No worries. We can kind of double back to that scan after the fact, if we need to. So, yeah. You arrive.
I have something.
Yeah.
I'm going Gitter is interested in since these Ferengi were the ones that brought in, she was gonna figure out which of these places have heavy traffic as far as trade ships coming inside from the Alpha Quadrants, places that aren't usually in the associated with the Vorta, like outside trading lanes and stuff like that.
Yeah, so you want to know where the heavy trading lanes are and kind of who is using them, essentially?
Yeah, which spots are the main hubs for trade? That's probably the vector in which the sword maybe change hands from the Ferengi.
It's an excellent point. Let's do a scan for insight and command for that one. 3 successes to get the most information, but any success will give you some information.
Okay.
And we'll see what you find out. That's a great angle to take on the problem.
Two
2 successes. Fantastic. So yeah, you can tell that obviously this being a largely agrarian system, there's not a lot of trade traffic happening between the planets, but the city that you're going to has the most. There is a space station around Gallet 3 that seems to be the hub of commerce and trade, but you're able to sort of link up with the planet's computer system, and you find out that a large part of the actual deals, like the actual trade and things like that, where product changes hands, happens on the planet. So the space station is more of a hub where they'll load the products up to the station, and then the buyer will bring their ship in to load it up. Sort of like a warehouse type situation. But most of the actual business takes place in the city.
Yeah, so you'll hear from the deep engineering on the comms. Looks like all commerce is taking place on the planet rather than at the space station. Should I have the engineering prepare for a planet landing, planet fall, Captain?
Perhaps it is better to stay in orbit and beam a team down. Klingon ships can land on planets.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least the
we're
bird
in
prey
the
can.
small ones. We're in the small birds of prey, right? Yeah.
Yeah. The type of ship that you're in is capable of planet landing.
There be whales here. I think of a bird prey landing. I think of that movie. Yes, we shall
I will say
see how this handles an atmosphere.
Okay, cool. I will say this ship is it's capable of landing, but it's not the particular model. It's not what most people will do unless they have to. But you're absolutely able to if you want to.
If it's not something she'd think of, unless it was I think she would probably only land it if it's really important to land it. So yeah, we'll just stay in orbit. We will stay in orbit and beam an away team down. When you put it to me like that, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, the only reason I could think of is if you just wanted to do a shakedown and see how it handles, because it's not been done on this particular ship before. But
well, we will do that another time.
kind of like Voyager. Like Voyager can land on a planet, but it doesn't usually.
Yeah, we will stay in orbit.
Okay. All right. Well then, go ahead, Shauna.
Oh, said all right, Captain. We'll make sure the transporters are in top shape then. Give those another look at before we head. All right.
Excellent.
Okay.
And then
Well then.
she's just gonna look at the bridge crew and say, "Who's going? Who wants to go? You guys want to go?
Yeah.
If you have something better to do here, then do it here. But let's go." Really official Klingon delegation there.
Yeah.
I was so saying, I always love it when the Klingon captain goes, "You guys want to go?" I love this crew. Okay.
As a player, I try
you're
not
able
to tell you guys, "Oh, you have to stay behind while the rest of us go have all the fun." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not to do that, please.
Totally fair. You're able to make orbit without any issues. No roll needed to do that. You do get a hail from Gallet City. Basically, just your typical like, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" Okay, cool. Yeah, you can come down if you're here to do business.
You guys
Unless
come
there's
down
anything
if you're
specific-
cool, you know.
Yeah, essentially. It's like, oh,
We're here to do the touristy thing.
Great.
Check out your
That's great.
museums.
You're very
you know.
laid. They're very, very laid back. They seem to. Maybe they're drinking some Tulaberry wine while they're on the job or something. They seem extremely relaxed for somebody who's hailing a Klingon vessel. But unless there's anything that you want to ask or anything like that, we'll just sort of gloss over that conversation and you can go right on down. Okay. Who is making up the away team?
Yes, Tavana's definitely going down.
Okay.
Kolek's gotta go. Just
Of
as the
course.
captain has said, I've run out of stuff to do.
I think Jadura would go just because of her merchant background might help in some aspects with this.
Very good point. Now here's an interesting question. I can't recall how it works for Klingon ships, but obviously for Federation starships, the captain's not usually supposed to go on away missions. So what about Bahaj? Given that Bahaj has background in both settings, curious about the captain's reaction.
Baj will not follow Starfleet rules while she is in the KDF. Thank you very much. No, she's not gonna follow that protocol because one, they're Klingon, and I would think that Klingons would probably really respond poorly to a captain not being like in the fire, so to speak, if that makes in the crossfire. I would think that actually policy would be sit very poorly with Klingons. So she's always going to go down, and also she's a good interrogator. That because before all this, she was really a security concentrated and command concentrated person, and so interrogation is one of her specialties. So she needs to go because she can really get information out of people very well. That's one of her great talents in life. So even if she was just a crew member, she would want to go to this.
Okay. Also good points. So Kolek, Tavana, Jador, and Bahaj are absolutely going. Valkyris, I think,
Probably.
given that we're waiting on tech stuff, I think Valkyris is going to stay on the ship for the moment to make sure that the B shift, if you will, is all settled in to take care of the ship while you're gone. And then as soon as that task is done, we'll. Speaking of Valkyris will join you.
I will. You. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes.
So pausing there for a second to hop back. Did you want to do any particular scan while the ship was still approaching the planet? There, Anna.
There we go. I don't think so, unless there was some particular thing that sorry, what character am I playing right now? Unless there was something in particular that they knew of lore or history or anything like that in this area, I don't think that there's any scan that they would have made, so.
Okay. About the only thing that I think Valkris might know is that it's a hot spot for tuliberry wine trade. That's about it.
Cool.
This is truly, by most people's standards, a very uninteresting planet. Unless you're in the tuliberries. Okay. Well, then we'll fast forward again back to the present. You're all able to beam down. The coordinates that sort of traffic control folks gave you puts you down right in the middle of the commerce section of the city. And it's it is the biggest city on Gallet, so it does have a sort of metropolitan sort of feel to it. But that being said, it still has heavy influences of nature. There's a lot of like little medians in the streets with trees and things like that. There's a lot of flower beds. The whole place has sort of a natural aesthetic. Like even a lot of the buildings have vines growing up the side and things like that. So you do get the sense that this is a big city, but you also still feel oddly connected to the surrounding nature. And the lead that you got from the Breen pointed you to a Vorta shop where they sell collectibles, antiques, dealing largely in like weapons from the wars. So they've sort of started collecting Federation, Cardassian, Klingon, and Jem'Hadar, specifically blades, but also some disruptors and phasers and things like that. And it's more of a collectible shop rather than like a weapons shop. But they do deal primarily in these weapons. And it's right across the street from where you've beamed in.
Let's go there.
Agreed.
1 second, Captain. If I may offer a suggestion about dealing with these, I've dealt with species like the Vorta, like when dealing with Ferengi and all those other vaunted negotiating peoples. We had an interesting thing where we would play up the Klingon brutality. Just be as play into their expectations. They will let things slip. Their guard will be in the wrong area. They will fear physical distress rather than expecting any sort of diplomatic or negotiating angle. Good to keep them on their toes.
So what you're saying is make them feel scared that they'll get hit, and maybe they'll say things that they shouldn't say to keep from getting hit.
Or that we're just these dumb Klingons that will just take any deal.
Okay.
That
I
sort
like
of thing.
it.
Also
Well,
hitting. The hitting is also a very good way of doing things, especially with the small ones.
Perhaps I can even use this. And she kind of, that batleth she has that's very weird. She kind of points to that. She's like, maybe they will be interested in thinking I want to sell that.
Of course.
Everyone,
Often you have to pick them up by the throat and lift them so that you can see their eyes.
Yeah. I think
well,
Jador, like,
Klingons could be pretty tall.
Yeah, I think Jador has her hair like bunded up pretty tightly. I think she does the usual thing, just kind of like let it loose, just to kind of match everybody.
Okay.
Big hair.
Valkris
Dallas
normally
style.
has a much more composed bearing, but is taking particular care to make the batleth swing a bit menacingly as they're walking down the streets here.
Okay. Yeah, as you're making yourselves look more intimidating, you certainly get some looks from people around the town. They look a little. Some of them are nervous. Some of them are judgmental. Um, it's
Some of
mostly
them are
Vorta
turned
that
on
are
and thirsty.
probably. Probably. There's mostly Vorta going to and fro, but there's some other species here as well. There's some Ferengi. There are. I can't remember the name of the species, but the race of folks that were in an episode of Deep Space Nine where they're talking about tuliberries. They've got like heavily painted faces, where like orange with white stripes or dots. They're very tall and muscular, somewhat physically intimidating for most people. Maybe not for a band of Klingons, but you would certainly see them as maybe somebody to look out for if you got into a fight. They look like they could, possibly hold their own with you. And they sort of give you this look of very gruff and stoic sort of respect, sort of a nod of like, I respect that if we got in a fight, you maybe could kick my butt. But you also get this like very strong sense of pride from them. And there's like 2 or 3 small groups of those people scattered around the immediate vicinity. And I think those are probably the ones that look at you with, maybe a little turned on. But the Ferengi and the Vorta and some of the others are a little more scared or judgmental.
Well, depending on how well, if the women are dressed head to toe, then the Ferengi they're into that. No. What clothing you have on. I'm just saying.
That's a fair point. I think it's probably the some of the Ferengi that are more judgmental. It's like, oh, the females are wearing clothing, as the Ferengi do. And yeah, you paint quite the imposing picture as you walk up to this shop. When you enter, the shop is deceptively large on the inside. Like, it doesn't look like it should be this big from the outside. Anybody that's interested in architecture or something, maybe Valkyris might notice this, that it's just the floor plan is laid out very well. It's very efficient use of space. So it's quite large. There's shelves everywhere. All of the walls are lined with batleths and swords and daggers and things like that. And then you can see some display cases more towards the back that have hand phasers and phaser rifles and disruptors and things like that. There's not a whole lot of staff that you can see inside. There's a couple of Vorta behind the counter. But one thing you definitely would notice as you step in would be the Jem'Hadar, one on either side of the door frame on the inside of the building. They're just standing there with arms crossed, looking very much like what you would expect a bouncer in a bar to look like. They look like they are always in a bad mood, and their eyes are just glued to all of you as you step in.
Tavana gets in the face of one of them and goes, "Argh," and tries to poke its nose. Is it stuffed? I wouldn't mind having one for my room.
You did not kill it. Why would you want that?
Did not kill it yet, but it could be fun for playing with later, like those tribbles.
Oh my god!
Yes,
Yeah, as you get in their face,
fight them.
they look completely nonplussed.
They're totally
Completely
like
nonplussed.
flexing menacingly here too.
Yeah.
Perfect. Completely nonplussed until you try to poke their nose. And just for clarification, do you actually boop their nose, or just have your finger in their face?
She's actually reaching to try and boop the nose. She wants to know if it's stuffed
when
or
it's
not.
when it's within like an inch away from their face, they just very gruffly say, "Unless you want me to bite that finger off, I suggest you put it away."
Oh, they flirt.
And he just sort of gives you like this quizzical look, like, what the heck is flirting? Doesn't actually say anything. That's sort of the look on his face.
Break easy.
But yeah, otherwise they don't do
Turns away
anything.
and walks.
They're like, yeah, okay. Yeah, otherwise they completely do not react to your taunting or teasing. But they keep their eyes on you. So yeah, as you walk in, is there anything that you want to look at, or do you go straight back to talk to the Vorta? What's your sort of plan here? How do you want to do this?
I would like
Well,
to look around for some. Go ahead.
No, you go.
Look around for the nearest entrances and exits, so that we don't have a repeat of what happened in Quark's bar. And then failing that, any interesting sort of artifacts or curiosities that would catch their interest. Now, I'm not promising we won't have a repeat of what happened in Quark's bar. I would just like to try not to.
Fair enough. So let's do an insight and security. You'll need 2 successes to spot all of the entrances and exits.
Can I use my studious talent to give myself, what would I get? An extra die? No, studious, sorry, the focuses work that way, never mind. I'm sorry. Let's do, hey, I got 2 successes. Sweet.
There you go. So yeah, obviously there's the front door, and then as you specifically look around, you're probably like able to like lean over, maybe go on your tiptoes or something like that to see around the counter off into the back, and there is a back entrance, and you also know that there is a second floor, so there's probably stairs somewhere behind the counter that you see. Because there's sort of like the counter and then a wall and then like a doorway, so there's more to the building in the back, but there's a second floor, so there's probably stairs or a turbo lift or something like that behind that, which might have another exit potentially, but you for sure know there's a back door and a front door.
Captain, just in case we need to beat a hasty retreat from this place, and I will quickly fill her in on the situation.
Okay.
Good.
Good. The Vorta in the back at this point are looking at you a bit quizzically. Just sort of curious, like, why are there a bunch of Klingons in our shop, and why are they talking in hushed tones to each other? We don't say anything.
Bodge is like doing the whole like looking around thing and just like sort of like getting an idea of what they're selling, and obviously like trying to see if there's any notable Klingon items that they're selling, because obviously like she is just under the assumption like if sort of Kahless sort of was here, it's probably already gone, but she's still like looking at the Klingon items that they have specifically.
Yeah, Tavon is definitely checking out the bladed weapons.
Mm-hmm. So most of what you see here towards the front of the building is I'm drawing a blank on the name, but the Klingon daggers that have the little blades on the side that snap out, and you probably notice some notable houses because they all have the house seal on the base of it. So some houses that you would recognize, which might catch your attention. There's the occasional batleth, a couple of mechleth that you can see that are Klingon. Best that you can tell just from glancing, probably from the Dominion War that were either lost in space or ended up on a planet in the Gamma Quadrant and then eventually found its way here. Um, that's most of what you're seeing here in the front part of the building. Do you go to the back and start looking at some of the display cases there?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
As you go to the back, when you get a little bit closer, at this point, the board to speak up, and one of them seems to be in charge particularly, and he's the first to speak, and he says, "Yes, how might I help you, Klingons?"
I don't know, but we will find out.
All right, that's not concerning. You seem to be looking at blades. They're a particular type of weapon that you're looking for, or perhaps a souvenir, perhaps looking for something from the war for your house?
I look for things that are not simply... I'm trying to think of the words. I'm looking for something a little older than that.
Ah, and antiques, I see.
Yes.
I do
Something
have
a
some...
little less decorative and a little more venerated, if you know what we mean.
Yes.
Venerated. Did not expect such large vocabulary from a Klingon. It's a pleasant surprise.
That will
we
teach you
did
to
yes, I
never
think I have.
underestimate.
Well, we do not expect you to be helpful, so prove us wrong.
Right. A shop owner wouldn't be helpful in their own shop. That makes sense. All right, anyways, I have some things in the back that might interest you. That was killing you with the dictionary. Oh my god. So he motions you behind the counter to go to that back room. Valkyris, where you saw, the back door. Do you all follow this Vorta, or just Baj and Valkyris?
I will go.
Jadur's going.
Tavana's
Okay.
going to stay out in the front, and she's checking over the different daggers and batlets, testing them out. She'll grab a couple of the daggers and start juggling them, and then just kind of catching one and thunking it into the wall near one of the Jem'Hadar, just for fun. And she's also kind of scrutinizing them to see if these are replicas, fakes.
Yeah, they're false.
That's
Okay.
yeah.
So we'll start with so a few things happen with all of that I want to address. So the other Vortas, while the first one who spoke seemed very self-confident and a bit flippant, the other one, she seems very excitable. And as you start juggling the blades, she just sort of reaches out her hand. She's like, I'm really not sure you should do that. Oh, you're throwing them into the wall. We're gonna have to fix that. Maybe don't throw them in the wall. Just, please.
Golek starts laughing and egging Tavana on, ignoring the Vorta that's trying to stop the show here.
Yeah, she's just
pay for any of the damage you make.
Yeah, and this Vorta just seems to get more and more anxious, and you can tell she's debating: should I go over there and try to pick these things up, or just stay behind the counter where it's safe? And it's a very clear dilemma that you can see crossing her face as she's thinking it all. The Jem'Hadar, on the other hand, are, again, completely nonplussed. When one of the blades does get close to them, though, one of them does snatch it out of the air and just sort of grunts at you.
I finish juggling, thunk, thunk, thunk the knives back into the counter, and then grab 2 of the batless, toss one to Kolek and Shawi, and just start running like Klingon katas with the batleth with him.
The
Again,
Lady Borda looks like
testing
she's-
the balance of the weapons and seeing if these are.
Yeah, she looks like she's gonna have a heart attack. She's just beside herself as you're going through all of this. But the weapons seem genuine. None of them seem fake. They're all well balanced. It's clear that they were built for warfare. And some of them are notched in places like where you can see where it's gone through battle, and others are a little less roughed up. But you can tell these are all Klingon weapons that were built for and went through battles. Yeah, so that commotion is happening in the front of the shop. And then for Baaj, Valkris, and Jador, going back into the back room, the Vorta walks very confidently into that room, not looking over his shoulder to see if you're following. So when he does finally turn around and sees all 3 of you, he just sort of, not like jumps back, but sort of like seems a little bit surprised, and goes, "Oh, all 3 of you came. Great. So you were looking for older things that were perhaps a little bit more venerated, as you said. I have this case here," and he pulls out. It's like a display case, so the top is clear. It's not literal glass. It's like your sci-fi material that's super durable glass. And inside, it's quite large. Inside, you see something that looks like the sword of Kahless, along with a lot of other very old daggers, and even an old mek'leth that looks less like the one that you see Worf carry in the shows. It looks almost like Damascus steel, and it looks very old. But that same shape, essentially.
She gestures to what looks like the sword of Kahless, and she says to him, "If that is what I think it is, then I hope it has been verified as real."
Oh, yes. You have a good eye. Well, I have been trying to sell this as real, but something tells me Klingons are going to know the difference, so I'll just be straightforward with you. This is not the sword of Kahless, though it was sold to us as if it were. Had a group of Ferengi that came through here, and fortunately my assistant purchased it without my authorization.
Sounds like
But
you
it is
need
a
different
very
assistant.
fine replica. Yes, they're hard to find. It was her, or there was the farm boy that applied. I had literally 2 applications for my assistant. It was her, or the farm boy whose only experience was shoveling manure. So you take
Which
what
is
you can
about
get.
as good as this sword looks, if I'm being perfectly honest. Do you have any idea where the genuine one might end up? Or might have ended up?
Uh-huh. I mean, I wouldn't really know. She claims the one that she looked at was the real deal, and then that they somehow swapped it. So perhaps the Ferengi had the real article.
Yes, perhaps you can give us information on these Ferengi.
Well, they did leave a business card. They're not answering my hails, but perhaps they'll answer yours. And he hands you a sort of like a little hologram platform. So you push a button and it's like a holographic business card shows up over the base. And it's something along the lines of like Ferengi closeout superstore and hard to find items. Something very over the top and way too long for a business name. But there are coordinates to hail them, and there's a storefront location, which is on one of the moons here in the Gallet system, actually.
Thank you for this information. I tell
That
the
must have been quite a purchase. How much did that set you back?
Oh, the sword, well, she thought it was real, so she paid full price. Of course, didn't haggle, of course. So, he lists off some large number. I'm trying to think of Star Trek currency numbers, like 100 bars of platinum.
Yes.
No.
Now, this sword is practically useless to you. Is that correct? Having, obviously, a forgery of some sort. And
Well,
it's no matter of you whether or not we get the sword, correct?
Well, to be frank, we don't get many Klingons that come through here, and while I do try to run an honest business, certain embellishments in marketing are commonplace. So, to be perfectly honest, I could sell it for full price to somebody who doesn't know better. Or I could sell it to a very fine, genuine replica.
Or get more angry Klingons. But this is going to be a rather difficult negotiation with these Ferengi, so if you could offer us any information, we could talk to your associate.
Perhaps get your money back.
And definitely not tell the rest of our comrades waiting outside how disrespectfully you have stored this item so valuable to our culture in with a bunch of other junk.
To be quite honest, I'm really not concerned about your comrades out there, or you for that matter, but I do like getting my money back. Tell me more of this idea of how you're going to retrieve my money.
Well, if it is found out that the Ferengi has the real article or multiple fakes, then you have proof and local authorities can deal with them. Or we could just take the money and, return it after a percentage has been extracted.
I like that second option better. The local authorities aren't going to do anything. What type of percentage are we talking? What seems fair to you?
100 bars of platinum. We're already doing something we need to do. 20%.
You sure you aren't part Ferengi?
It is funny you ask. I do know the rules of acquisition very well. Long story short, there is a Ferengi captain out there who continually sends me texts about how much he loves me. So I've dealt with my fair share of Ferengi men. Ugh. Just one, really.
Well, since you share my pain, I have to deal with them frequently. 20% is entirely too high, but I could say 10%.
How about this? I'll do 15% and you give me this. And she points at the fake sword of Kahless. I may need it for my own tricks.
12% and I'll throw in the sword.
That is good. We have deal.
Very well, and he unlocks the case and hands you the replica. And it is a really good replica. Like, if you weren't trained on what exactly to look for, you might think this is the real deal. So he hands it to you and says, all right, well, I must say, this is perhaps some of your reputation is undeserved. You've been quite reasonable.
We are
I
not all
expect
mentioned
wrong.
I was just going to say about the
Sorry,
time
what
that he
was that?
says quite reasonable, you hear the squeaking of the shop girl.
Well, at least some of you are quite reasonable. I thought I was going to have to call in the security. But it's actually been quite pleasant. And as he says security, there's a sort of a distortion that you see, and there's like 6 Jem'Hadar that just appear out of nowhere in the storeroom.
She just holds up the batlet like, hey, back up, bro. Back up.
And the Jem'Hadar just sort of sneers at you and chuckles, and then they go back into their stealth field. And the Vorta just sort of
12% was
smiles.
very-
lost the war.
What was that, Valkris?
12% was very nearly too low for that.
We get this nice replica that we can use as a decoy when we need to.
Yes. I like the way you think.
And the Vorta looks at you, Valkris, and goes, if you're dissatisfied with the deal, you're welcome to talk to our customer service department. You just met them.
Oh no, I was already walking away.
Okay.
I didn't say that in front of the shopkeeper.
Okay. He's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
snarky.
Well, voter generally.
Yeah. As you walk out, I presume you see all these daggers stuck in the counter where Tavana has been playing with knives. And
Come now, children, we must go home.
They will tell the tales of the days that the Klingons went shopping.
Klingon shopping episodes, not your typical shopping episode.
It's true. Or your typical Klingon episode, for that matter. So yeah, you have the business card, you have the information, you have the replica sword. Is there anything else you'd like to do in the city or on this planet? This would be a good opportunity to resupply, at least for food and things like that. Or
Yeah,
you can
she actually,
head straight up.
Baj would actually get with Jador and say, essentially, would you like to broker a few deals in restocking a few things aboard ship with myself?
Oh yes, that sounds like an excellent opportunity to do this, now that we're here. Well done with that. A little bit of cutting there. She'll smile.
All right.
The rest of
Well,
you
there's
would either shore leave or go back. Do what you want.
Yes,
Get drunk, start
there's
fights.
there's plenty of shops. Blood wine is not in great supply here, probably, but Tulaberry wine is definitely in large supply.
I imagine we have a
There's
lot
lots of
of
different cups.
blood wine stocked.
Never travel without it.
Tribbles got
We
We
into
actually
trouble.
probably trade it here. We
Oh,
could
God, I hope
probably
not.
trade some blood wine here for other things if we needed to, because it's probably rarer here.
Yeah.
It's possible. If you'd like to go on the hunt for more blood wine, you absolutely can. But that's a good point. Martok was the one who commissioned the ship for you, so it's probably well stocked with blood wine.
I think Tavana might call up to the ship and have them transport down a couple of the triple pelts and see if those can be sold.
Yes.
And
yeah.
failing that, go get drunk and start fights.
Getting drunk and
yeah,
starting
actually,
fights
it's,
sounds good.
True
very
Klingon
good.
diplomacy.
As you probably, I assume, ask around a little bit on where you could sell those triple pelts, there's actually a sort of a trading outpost. It's on the edge of where the forest meets all the farmland, a little bit outside of the city. And the folks that you speak to, all of them say, like, that's the place you want to go if you want to sell stuff like that. Apparently there's like a hunting industry where they hunt for various animals in the forest and sell the pelts there, and also buy other pelts. And there's also sort of a hunting tour. Like you can pay somebody to give you a tour of the forest and you can go on a hunt yourself. It's sort of like the equivalent of go pick your own apples out of the orchard. But hunting.
Or like one of those places in Texas where you can go deer hunting and they just like have a little clearing where there's a bunch of corn. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's cheating. It's cheating.
That is no honorable way to spend an evening, Captain.
We all just sit there like, oh, who would take that hunting trip? That sounds awful. Do it yourself. Do it yourself. Go out there. And
I
just
would rather
walk
lose
it
7 times in a row the arm wrestling competition than do such a thing.
Right? Oh, what is wrong with this place? Oh.
No challenge and no
I wonder-
honor in it.
I wonder if they have any really challenging beasts, or if it's just point and shoot at something.
It's
Maybe
a
something.
good question.
Also, are the- Can we hunt the Jem'Hadar?
I don't think
Funny
they'll let
that you
us do
should
that.
mention
Ugh.
that.
And they're people.
Let's do a presence and presence and command roll to look into that Jem'Hadar situation. For anyone that would like to make that roll, you are able to do so. It's essentially asking around
I have
about
really
more,
good presence and command.
basically asking around, like, do you know anything about maybe like some underground fight arenas or anything like that? It's definitely not something that you would just openly talk about.
I would like to do that, and I will also use my composure to be cool about it, so I will get a bonus.
Very cool. And I think for this is probably going to be, it's not something that everybody's going to be willing to talk about, so you're probably looking for, I think, 3 successes for this.
I had 2.
And then we can count one of mine as an assist, so there's 3.
Yeah.
I was going to say, and Bahaj
Yeah.
had 2, so I think between the 2 of you, you do find out there is like an underground fight club type thing that some of the Jem'Hadar here have. Yeah, I know. But the Jem'Hadar not having to answer to the founders have struggled to sort of find their place in the world. And some of them on this planet have formed a fight club where they can get out their aggression and enjoy fights and things like that without being arrested or anything like that.
She kind of asks one of these people, telling them that's like, but are the Jem'Hadar fighting? Are they hot though? Yes, if they're hot.
The person that you're asking is just like, it's subjective. I don't find them attractive. You might. I really am uncomfortable at the moment. Is essentially what they say.
See you later. Have a good day.
Captain, it is
Yes.
really amazing what an afternoon of standing around and talking around the subject will do for
Right?
the excitement when it comes to a fight. Normally, I don't like to beat around the bush like that. I like to attack the problem head on, but in this case, the strategy was wise.
Klingon solutions are not always how you solve alien problems.
This is very
Know what I
true.
mean? Klingon solutions do not always fit in.
Sometimes
But
you have to be
we have a lot of
creative.
information.
Yes.
It's true.
Okay.
We do have information to go to that moon to find those Ferengi. Maybe we can call them, make them think we want to buy something. We need to plan this.
So how much did we
Also-
sell the tribble pelts for?
Oh yeah, we
so
gotta
that,
go through all that.
to get back to that, yeah. So Baaj and Jador, you're looking for supplies, right? And then
Yeah.
Anna and was it Kolek? The two of you are going for go to sell the pelts. Is that right? And then Valkris, I know you wanted to have a moment to talk to Jador before everybody splits up. But once you do that, are you going with the captain, or are you going with Tavana to go sell the pelts?
I'll go with Tavana after that.
Okay.
But
So
yes,
let's do
Jador,
our scene with Jador here. I presume you could pull them aside to talk to them before everybody splits up.
You know what the captain said about the Klingon solution to the problems not always being the best solution. I don't think I would have believed that the other worlds would have quite as much to offer us before I met you. I come from one of the old Klingon homeworld planets, and ever since I was a child, I was taught to think that we had more of a right to be proud of who we are than spacers or people that grew up outside of the Empire. That we were somehow more special because we were closer to the origin of it. But since we began traveling together on this ship, you have bested all of us in your skill with piloting, your craft in coming up with a way to trap the tribbles. I would have been their meat had it not been for you. So I thank you.
She looks like a little taken aback. Like, well, didn't think I would hear that, considering. But I will take that thanks, and I will admit my initial misgivings about you have been wrong. Have a little bit of a chip on my shoulder about the noble Klingons. They don't give outsiders much esteem. I know that if the war had not been going on, I would not have been able to attain the rank that I was. Would have been probably put to laborers or worked the docks. But you've changed my mind as well, that you're equally as capable and cunning and impressive in battle. So consider my mind changed as well. And apologies if, for some reason, I was hostile before.
The same
Some things
to
are a
you.
little more difficult to work across.
Yes. But regardless,
Well,
it is an honor to fight alongside you on this ship and this mission.
Well, likewise, ships are important to us, and I would not have anybody else besides you and this crew. So, let us bring honor to our families, ourselves, and get this thing.
Yes. Yes.
Also, I want to see you in the battle room at some point.
Ah. This can be arranged. Yes.
Ah, good. Perhaps once I get a little more sleep. It's been a rough couple days. These blasted tribbles.
Ugh. Still can't get the smell of that burned fur out of my mouth.
It's awful. It's awful. Every bit of the ducks have just that awful fur. It's good. I still think we should have just vacuumed the ship and get the entire smell out, but overruled on that
Well,
one.
hopefully once Tavana and I are able to dispose of their skins, that will dissipate it somewhat. Which reminds me. I will see you later then.
Have a good time on your date with Tavana. And she'll smile.
Valkris just sort of does that older sibling thing where it's just like, yeah, whatever, but also like, you're right. And then just sort of like, frustrated,
I think
grumpy, walks away.
You get the hint of like it's definitely playful because she kind of like does a little bit of a laugh afterwards.
All right. With that, let's go on that trip. So you're all able to, you all being Valkris, Tavana, and Kolek, are able to go outside the city, and somebody give me a good Ferengi name, good Ferengi first name. It can be from chat as well. A good Ferengi first
Dob.
name, and then that Dob, perfect. Dobbs, Pelts, General Store, and Hunting Experiences is the name of this business as you approach. It's looks like a general store, really. It's surprisingly made out of largely wood, not any of the modern construction materials that you would expect. As you approach, you can see there are lots of very gaudy and tacky sort of displays of pelts, taxidermy, things like that, and like a little vending machine that has like that same type of thing, but marketed more towards little kids. And most little kids would not find any of that remotely appealing, but that's what it's marketed as. Though,
is he wearing like the first next gen season, like the Ferengi had like the pelts on them and stuff like that?
That's actually that wasn't what I was planning, but that's perfect. Yeah,
That's brilliant. It's like imagining the Ferengi version of, like the guy that works at the bait shop and has the khaki vest with all the pockets and the fish hooks and the lures and stuff, and just like random bins of worms and insects.
Or the guy at the gun store with like tons of forest camo on.
Yeah, that's essentially what you got here. That's perfect. So yeah, Dob is wearing that. And if you walk into
And
the
a backwards
shop,
baseball cap.
you see him. Probably not the ball cap, but the rest of it, yeah. So as you go into the store, he's behind the counter, and it's what you would expect. It looks a lot like a bait shop or a hunting shop. There's displays of or bins up on the counter of like some sort of jerky, and then there's like giant tubs of worms and grubs. Some of them are labeled bait and some of them are labeled food. And they're sort of intermixed. So it's very hard to tell which ones are intended as food and which ones are intended as bait. And you're pretty sure some of them are both.
It all depends on who is doing the eating, of course. Whether it is food
Yeah.
or whether it is bait.
Exactly. And the whole store is filled with pelts and things like that. And then there's like a separate part of the counter with a sign that talks more about the hunting experience that you can sign up for. But as you enter, he looks at you all and is like, we've got customers. Fantastic. You lot look like you really know a thing or two about quality. Could I interest you in, we've got some wonderful pelts of insert sci-fi animal name here. And he goes on and on about how rare they are and things. And
Little man, we are
What?
not here to buy. We're here to sell.
oh, you want to sell? Okay, well that's a different story.
Tribble pelts come down. And again, it's the huge tribbles that we skin. So these are it's not a bunch of little tribble pelts put together. It's
Yeah.
one massive,
It's
several
wolf.
massive tribble pelts. Yep.
Like sleeping bag size tribble pelts.
He looks
We
at
have slain these
Sadab,
enemies and foes in glorious combat. We had never seen their like before, and hopefully we shall never seek their like again.
Yeah, this is very
Stench.
unusual fur here. It almost looks like tribble, but
It is.
a little bit
The
different.
stench is unmistakable.
How did you get tribbles to grow this big?
It was not
We
we
did
who made
not.
them grow, but it was we who defeated them with our prowess and ingenuity.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
a mysterious
congratulations. Oh, you
entity.
killed some giant tribbles. I'm sure that was very harrowing. And you can sense like he's being sarcastic.
Valkyrus is
Like,
just
well,
narrowing their eyes, staring daggers at this guy for that.
Hey, I'm not here to judge the merit of battles and whatnot. That's more your department. I'm just here to do business. So this is very obviously unusual pelt. Not sure what market I have for it really, but tell you what, given that we got off on the wrong foot a little bit there, I'll throw in a bonus. I could buy all of this for say 100 strips of gold pressed latinum.
Is there a way to insight check him? It's a Ferengi.
I was about to say, I'm not sure if that's a lot or not a lot. What's the deal here?
Absolutely. And that's kind of the point from him is trying to wheel and deal here. But yeah, let's do for something like that. I think that's would probably fall under reason, and we'll do reason and command to kind of tell if they're telling the truth or not, or giving you a
that'll
fair
be-
deal.
Yeah, can I use my focus and strategy or tactics in this?
I don't think those are going to apply for this particular
You-
one.
You could take
and
an
you'll-
assist
you'll
from
get-
me, though, because of follow my lead.
Okay.
So if I roll,
all right.
then you get an assist when you roll. And reason is my highest, so I'll just roll that,
So-
and then you can get an assist for the next thing.
Okay.
It's
sounds
normally
good.
going to be 3 successes for this,
Okay.
but given that it's a Ferengi and I feel like making it a little bit harder, I'm going to spend some threat on it, and make it 4.
So how many dice would I normally be rolling for this? Just 2, right?
Just 2.
Yeah.
You currently have 1 momentum because of the fuzzy tribble dice, and
Right,
you always
and-
have the option to give me threat.
is there a way that I have a point of determination? Do I use that for something like this to add a die?
I believe determination you can. There's a number of things that you can do, but one of them is essentially automatically get a success rather than even having to
Okay.
roll.
So how about we do that for one of them, and then I will roll with a focus to see if I can get the other 3.
Okay.
Oh, 3 total successes. Not one.
Nice.
But you do
Successes.
have an assist, Tavana, for your next thing for Follow My Lead.
Okay. So,
Yeah, so,
that would
Sorry, go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay, so you needed 4 because I spent some threat on that, but you got 3, so it's not really a full success, but this guy is acting like your stereotypical Klingon, or not Klingon, Ferengi, and you certainly know the Ferengi reputation, so you know that this is probably less than what they're worth, but you have no idea if it's a lot less or a little less.
So at this point, I think Tavana would reach across the counter, grab him by his pelts, lift him off the floor. Are you trying to cheat us?
Oh, me? I would never try to cheat somebody out of their hard-killed tribble pelts. I wouldn't dream
No,
of it.
but you might offer us less than they are worth.
I mean, that's to be expected. The rules of acquisition clearly state you never start with your best offer in a negotiation.
500 cold pressed platinum.
Clearly you're a person of great negotiating skill here. I'm gonna have to stand my ground though and say 200 strips.
Perhaps we should take up the person that was offering us that Ferengi hunt just down the street.
That would be a very amusing way to let off some steam at the end of a long, long day.
We've already caught a Ferengi.
Oh, you wanting to hunt?
I'm just holding him up. Now at this point, feet dangling.
Oh, his feet are kicking.
Kolek staring him down and also with his other hand eating the bait.
He's just like, that's not really for, you know what, help yourself. If you're looking for a hunt, the counter, you'd have to set me down first, but I could help you at the counter over there. Fantastic hunting experiences. Clearly, for esteemed hunters of tribbles like yourselves, I would, of course, offer you the secret advanced package, where only the most challenging hunts. Much more challenging than a Ferengi.
Are you making fun
That's the most sensible thing you've said all day.
See, perfect. And I would never make fun of a Klingon.
The Targs agree that it is a sensible thing.
500 strips, cold pressed platinum, or we skin the Ferengi, or we add Ferengi pelt to the pelts we are selling.
You drive a hard bargain. It's literally theft here, but sure, I'll give you 500 for the pelts.
And Tavana will set him down and stand back. It is nice doing business with you.
Valkyris, if this were an animated series, would totally be having hearts coming out of their eyes right now after that display. Just shring.
So it's like, all right, let me go get I don't have that many strips. I'll have to convert that into bars. Hold on. He goes back behind the counter to, like, you can still see he's there, but he's like ducked down behind the counter, and you hear little bits of metal clanging together and things. And he comes back with 3 bars of latinum and sits down and is like, "Yep, there you go. It's worth 500 strips of latinum."
Excellent. And we will be back for that
Does,
hunt. Make no
Does
mistake
anybody
about
want
that.
to? Does anybody want to double check his math on that, or tell if he's lying?
I'm already counting. I am already just like 1, 2, 3. You know, like an old man paying for a pizza with single dollar bills is how Valkyris is counting this money.
So it's basically just 3 big bars. But go ahead and roll insight and let's do. Well, I'm not quite sure what economics would fall under for disciplines, but I'm gonna go with science.
Probably science.
So,
yeah.
So insight and science, and it's gonna be 4 successes to know if you're getting the correct deal here. Given that none of you really have a lot of experience, except for maybe Jador in converting latinum.
Okay.
And Jador's not working.
I don't think there's any way I can get 4. I don't think, because we just rolled 2, and I don't have a focus that applies.
There's always crits. You do have 1 momentum.
And people can assist.
Spend the momentum.
Spend the momentum. Okay, so that adds a die.
Yep.
And
threat's always an option too.
I mean,
you can always.
Yeah,
give me
let's
threat.
do that. Let's roll 4 dice and give you some threat. Thank you for reminding me about that. I always forget that we can just make things harder for ourselves in the future instead of desperately clinging to the present. Oh my god, the very near future. Oh.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh
You're
god.
pretty sure he actually overpaid, which is weird for a Ferengi to do, but yeah, you absolutely got the right amount of latinum and not 200 strips short.
Well, everything seems to be
looks like a
ordered
great deal.
here. We should go let our captain and our engineer know that we are to be participating in the hunt of the most advanced creatures that this place has to offer.
Tavana will also help herself to a bag of bait and scoop up another bag. And as they're walking out, we'll hand one to Valkyris. It's kind of like, kids eat with bags of popcorn.
That's adorable.
As they leave.
So yeah, poor Dob is, essentially panting and, checking their blood pressure at this point, recovering from that harrowing experience.
We're coming back for a hunt. Tavana's going to make sure that Jador knows that they got 500 strips of gold pressed latinum for those tribble pelts, and let Valkyris show them the bars that we got.
Poor Dob. Speaking of Jador, we're going to hop over there to Baj and Jador. You're trying to get supplies. There's a lot of different options. Different types of businesses that sell just food. There's like a farmer's market. There's some general store type stuff, as well as more spaceship oriented shops that sell more like preserved rations and power cells and not dilithium, but that other fuel source that they use in Star Trek. Oh, I'm drawing a blank on it.
I know.
I think it also starts with a D, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I also.
Not dilithium, but
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the other one. It's
whatever. It's the thing that we're
Yeah.
We're just and we're basically just getting a little bit like, because I don't know about don't know about Sean. I don't necessarily want to get bogged down with like going to every store in game,
Mm-hmm.
but just the general like just look at literally just restocking what we already have used up, fuel, food. Not much. I imagine we haven't used up too much yet because it's not been that many days. But just kind of keeping everything topped off, kind of thing.
Get some fresh
Yeah,
supplies.
if there's nothing
Who knows,
specific that
trading.
you're looking for, then you're able to do a pretty good job of with Jador being there and having the experience with merchants. You're able to refuel, get replacement spare parts from all those that you had to use up for.
Oh yeah, from the tribbles eating everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it takes you about as much time as it took the rest of them to intimidate a Ferengi out of their gold press latinum. And you're all able to meet back up. I presume you said a rendezvous point, maybe back where you beamed in.
Probably where we first beamed in.
Okay. So what does the conversation look like as you meet up?
Well,
We
how
have
did all
secured
of
a
you
great
fare?
fortune by selling these tribble pelts to a Ferengi that, although obsequious and rather annoying at times, has agreed to take us on a hunting tour of this brain stopped working. 404 word not found. To take us hunting.
Yes.
Did you?
He promises us quite the adventure, and
Yes.
we actually received 500 strips of gold pressed platinum for.
First of
Oh,
all, First of all, those pelts were not worth 500 strips of latinum, so I assume that you probably did something to get him to pay you that much, which means that his hunting tour is probably going to kill us.
Or
I
kill
know
him.
Ferengi, I know
We could
Ferengi.
hunt him. Or we could hunt him.
How afraid did you make him?
What did you do to him? What did you do to
Tavana
Vanna?
just lifted him up so that they could look at each other in the eye, approach each other on the
Always
same
look.
level.
I guarantee you he is going to try to kill you during that excursion so that he can take his money back.
That is
He's
quite
going
a
to
bit of
lead you
latinum.
to something that will. He is going to lead you to something that will kill you. There's
then
going
we
to
will
be
kill
some
him.
terrible beast out in that woods. I mean, we would probably do a good job of killing it. I'm just telling you. But don't underestimate the Ferengi. And also, a Ferengi rule of acquisition number 192 states, don't cheat a Klingon unless you can get away with it. If he thinks he can get away with cheating you, he will. And I guarantee you, he is going to try by sending you to some really, really, really dangerous beast.
Well, he tried to cheat us by offering us less than those pelts were worth.
But he couldn't get away with that, could he?
No, he could not.
Of course
Never
not. I
cheat a
counted it all.
Klingon unless you can
Yes,
get away.
Valkyries counted it.
Yes.
Let me see this
according to the
money.
rules.
I'll just hand
Yeah,
it over.
let's-
I'm embracing being a schmuck.
I'm going to count the money.
I hand
so
it
it's
over.
pretty far.
Okay, can I narrate how I want to hand this over? I think I
Absolutely.
want to do the same thing where I'm just like 1, 2, and then there's a disconnect between what Valkyrs thinks that they're counting out and the look on Baj's face as she's watching me be like, yes, a fortune, and then I just look up and I'm like, oh, that damn Ferengi!
I think Jador picks up one of the things and just does like a weight test and just kind of like make sure it's like. He's
Oh
not
yeah,
giving us-
as Jador, you're familiar enough. This bar of platinum was definitely shaved as well, so it's a little bit lighter than it should be.
I'll provide. Oh, we should probably get a little more from him. With like less latinum in this then.
We can
So
take it from
you
his
probably got
pelts.
the equivalent of like like 250 strips of gold pressed platinum. There
Mhm.
is an actual conversion table for slips to strips to bars. I don't remember it off the top of my head. So in this timeline, it's going to be 100 slips equals a strip, and 100 strips equals a bar. And so yeah, you ended up with about 250 strips worth.
Well, this can be at least good practice. Good practice in the hunt and good practice in our negotiations with the Ferengi. Then
We can take it from his hide.
Falling for
Or just from
Ferengi
the bait
tricks.
shop.
You
As
are
we have already
Klingons.
discussed, whether something is bait or food depends on who is doing the hunting, and we are exceptional hunters.
I don't know.
Why would
Did you
Dr.
see? Did you see you like nearly clobber my leg off during the fight against?
I don't know what you're
Against
talking about. I was just polishing my weapon on the triple fur. Just a little bit.
All right.
Can Klingons blush because that's happening right now
Yes.
for me?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just like
yes,
They absolutely can.
angry red. It's not like a blush. It's like fire engine red.
Baj, because she has literally dealt with like Ferengi stands for so long.
Mhm.
She's just like, this is to her just so funny. Like she's like doing her best to like, she's being chill and like relaxed about it, but internally she
Yeah.
is like losing her shit, laughing her ass off. Like,
Yeah, I
like
think-
this is her
yeah,
just being like, you know, I'm thankful for my, like, she's just internally thinking, I'm thankful for my time in Starfleet because I have dealt with
Yeah.
so many people.
I think Jador goes to Baj and just like kind of in low voice. Maybe we can teach that Ferengi, rule number 285: no good deed goes unpunished. And she'll smile.
No good deeds goes unpunished. That is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
You've dealt with a lot of Ferengi too. Well, let's go do our hunting excursion, and then we have business to do. We actually have a thing to do. And stuff. Okay? This isn't the pleasure cruise.
Although, Captain,
You did
Also,
say
I do
shortly.
have an idea. I do have an idea. Considering that we have now gone on more than one wild goose chase looking for this sword. Hey,
Oh, no.
I learned a Federation expression. Considering we have gone on more than one wild goose chase looking for this sword, I propose that if we are able to collect enough reputable fakes, that perhaps we can distribute them as spoils in the event of our eventual victory. And that way, we will always remember the things that we did together and the fearsome foes that we fought by frying them with electrical cables.
Yes. And speaking of, she does actually have, at some point, I would say it's probably when they were out, her and Jador were out, she probably had that fake, like, beamed up to the ship and secured.
Mhm.
Okay.
Just for safety. I just
yeah.
didn't think about it until
Yeah.
just now. Yeah, she would have gotten that out of her hands, so she's not carrying it around. You know, she's not just some Klingon carrying the sword of Kahless. Look at me, really cool.
Yeah, you're
no.
carrying on like the shiny box. Like, yes, this claim has something valuable.
I imagine the guy like boxed it for them or
Yeah,
wrapped it or
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
But it's annoying.
Oh, yeah.
You know, don't want to carry
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It's
So
in
yeah,
like
Bodge, like a case.
it's in like the equivalent of like a soft case for a guitar. So it's like this thick,
Gotcha.
Um,
Probably like leather.
this type bag. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good bag.
Yeah, she has them secure that on the ship, like probably in her like ready room or something, or like somewhere where it's not out in sight, you know, but it's there. People know about it.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
it
yeah.
gets-
So once
It gets
they're
beamed
ready,
up, no
she's like,
problem. Your crew makes it so and puts it in your ready room. Exactly, finger guns. And so you're going back for this hunting trip, I take it, right?
yes, as long as it's not like a 2-day trip or something. It can't be more than like 3 hours.
Wait, they last more than 2 days.
A 3-hour tour.
3-hour tour.
Oh no.
A 3-hour tour.
So you could get back all collectively to Dobbs. Oh crap! What did I say it was? Dobbs Pelt's general store and hunting experience.
And bait.
Back to, and bait, yes. You
And
get back
bait.
to the business, and inside is someone who looks exactly like Dobb, with a slightly different outfit. Like the color of fur on the shoulders is different. And as you walk in, he goes, hello, Klingons, fantastic. I'm Bob, Dobb's brother. How can I help you?
Jeez, it's another replica.
Oh no.
It's this guy? Really?
Wait, what? What just happened?
Done by this guy?
I was reading the chat that we had in the thing, and I'm like, what just happened?
What? Am I on the same page? What guy do you think this is? I'm curious.
The guy from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yes, I
that's
was
just
thinking
the
about
same
that,
guy,
like, just
but
has
he
a different
walks over
hat.
the counter and then he pops up and he's like, "It's my
Yeah,
brother."
it's that guy. Yeah, I thought about
Yes,
This
I know.
guy.
on the same.
I
I
wasn't
thought
pretty
yes,
sure, yeah.
yes. The same guy. It's the same.
I would like to do a violence in this bait shop.
Well, first let's do an insight and security roll with 2 successes. Pretty easy. To see if you believe if this is actually Bob or if it's actually Dobb just in a different outfit.
So what was that? Insight plus security? This
Yeah,
is going
we're
to
gonna
be
have brother-
wonderful because these are the lowest stats that Valkyries has. Oh,
We're gonna have brother
successes.
Rob.
Daryl and his other brother Daryl.
Daryl, Barrel, Gerald.
My brother Daryl, my other brother Daryl.
Yep. Kolek and Tabana are able to make this roll as well if you would like. But Valkyris,
I don't know if
Oh,
it's
yeah.
enough.
Okay.
but-
It's like security.
that's
Oh,
what we
okay.
did.
it's very clearly Dobb in a different outfit.
I got one.
So, Tabana, I think with Valkyris insisting, you also believe that this is Dobb in a different outfit. But Kolek, you're pretty darn sure this is a different person. I mean, Ferengi have identical twins as well, so you are less convinced that this is not, in fact, a different person.
I know how we can find out. And she reaches across the counter and picks him up.
No.
He weighs the same.
Wait.
Boz is just standing in
what
the
is it?
background, just going
Yeah,
like
like-
this.
I think Jador's just confused. Like she has her arms crossed, just like, what's happening? Why are they
Picking people
reacting like this?
So much
Wait.
violence!
You should
This
be a
is a
little
good
heavier, I
opportunity.
think, considering that you underpaid us for those pelts that we sold you just now.
Underpay. That must have been my brother Dobb. I keep telling him to stop ripping people off. I am very sorry about this.
I can't. Listen, I may not be very good at many things, but there is one thing I am good at, and it is telling apart liars and cheats from their lying and cheating identical twins. I may not be
I
able to
completely
count, I may not
understand.
be able to fight. I may not be able to talk to people real good, but there is one thing I can do.
Just Jador just like
Listen
listen
to
to
Tomato
him.
pulls him closer and goes,
He missed.
threaten him.
I think Jador just goes about like,
no,
we missed a lot.
Ah.
understand. I completely understand. I of course will be happy to compensate you for whatever it was that my just awful brother didn't give you. And he's just dead set on sticking to this story, even though you know.
Fine.
Can I roll for the Ferengi to be attracted to me with my focus, and all Ferengis are attracted to me? No, I'm just kidding. It's
a detriment.
a joke from my other campaign with Baj.
You could absolutely try to seduce the Ferengi. That is something I will
No,
100% allow.
No, she doesn't even try
touching
to do
ears.
that,
We are
and
no
she's
ear
got it.
touching.
No ear touching.
Touching.
Guys, I did that one time without knowing what Umox was. I told you guys not to make fun of me, and I was very sensitive about the.
Captain, I swore an oath to
This is
follow
why
you.
our captain-
Please don't make me regret my oath.
This is why our captain is still getting text messages from a Ferengi. Touch that ear one time.
So, Bob is still kicking his feet in the air and goes, yeah, so I absolutely compensate whatever it was that he shorted you and can throw in a free hunting experience. Did Dom tell you about the hunting experience? It's very fun. Very honorable hunt.
Oh my god, this is the best day ever.
This just is like making the jump to warp speed before you were expecting.
Yeah, so he's very panicked, waiting for responses.
You owe us 250 strips of gold-pressed platinum. And again, still holding him up. And we won't hunt Ferengi.
Oh, much. That's good. We're terrible at prey. It would not be an honorable hunt, like shooting fish in a barrel, really, with a phaser. Be happy to get you that money, and I assure you, I will be yelling at my brother Dob and docking his pay for this.
Good. Bring him out here so we can yell at him too.
Certainly. Can you put me down now so I can go get your money?
Yes. Kind of. She doesn't set him down; she just drops him.
Yeah, I figured. So he drops down and runs behind the counter. This time you can't see him because he goes completely behind the counter. You hear the rustling of fabric as he changes this vest thing and comes back out as Dob holding the 3 bars of latinum. He goes, yeah, I'm really sorry, but I definitely should not have tried to shortchange you like that. Bob already yelled at me, so here's 3 more bars of latinum. That'll cover the difference and a little extra for your trouble.
Tavana just looks at Jador.
I'm gonna make that check. Now she's just confused.
Okay. So yeah, insight and security. Yep, you got it. It's definitely the same person.
I kind of give that curled lip look at Tavant oh. Yes, all of it. Before we lose our patience. And we take both of your brothers.
Right. Sure, we'd be happy to go with you on this trip. Let me just go get Bob. And goes back behind the counter, changes again, comes back out as Bob, and you can see he's got the same vest that he was wearing as Dob, just rolled up under his arm. Yep, Dob told me you want both of us to go on this trip. No problem. He'll just be along shortly. He'll meet us out there.
Wait.
Is that what you're carrying?
I'm sure.
Dob told us there was a top secret, off the menu hunting trip. Do you know about this?
Oh, he told you about that trip. Yeah, certainly.
Yes.
Normally there is an extra charge for the super secret one, but seeing as you're very high value customers, of course that will be on the house. So
Oh, you best believe it.
Did you want to schedule that? Did you want to go now or?
Well, there's no time to
I'm
waste,
sorry,
I
is there
think.
a line?
And I'm
Yes,
just gonna
I see
turn
your
over
point
to Kolek and just be like, yes, the sooner we have this odorous creature behind us, the better, I think. I would like to let blood and get out of here.
Sure. Let's get you something to let blood out of that's not me or Dob.
I thought you were Dob.
Sort of. No, I'm Bob. This is Dob is gonna meet us out.
You're wearing Dob's vest.
No, this is my vest. He actually does have Dobbs
Oh, okay.
rolled up under his arm.
Try and trip him up.
And you can see that it is the other vest under his arm.
Oh god.
So you can certainly mention that if you want to.
I'm not sure I'm up to singing Naked Ferengi.
Wait, I mean, I'm flattered and all, but you're not really my
No,
type.
you're
but
carrying
I
your brother's
appreciate it.
clothes. You're carrying your brother's clothes. What will your brother wear? Why are you bringing your brother's
vest?
clothes with you? Yeah.
It's just his vest. He was warm.
These brothers
He's
are pretty
gonna
weird.
be out
Isn't
there.
there anybody else who can take us on the hunt?
We're the only two employees other than our other brother, Robert. He was raised by humans. That's why he has a human name. It's very odd.
Dob, Bob,
is
and
the
Robert.
name.
I would like to do violence in
I
this
don't
bait
know.
shop.
I don't know all human customs, but I do know that humans that generally are named Robert also go by Bob. So you have two brothers.
Huh, really? That's fascinating. Did you all need your own?
For having a
bring
brother
your
who was
own-
raised by humans, you certainly don't know much.
We're estranged. We don't really talk much. Did you need weapon rentals, or are you bringing your own?
We are fine.
We will provide our own.
Great, let's go. And he sort of just escorts you out of a side door, and there's like, it's sort of like a Star Wars land speeder type looking vehicle outside, and it's very clearly old. Like a lot of the panels on the outside, the colors don't match, and it's dubious at best on the structural integrity of this vehicle. He hops in the driver's seat and just like pats the back where it's open for you to hop in. There's not even like a door. It's just like you hop into the back, almost like a pickup truck.
Yeah. Well, if he doesn't kill us, then this vehicle will.
Oh no, it's this vehicle's it may not look like much, but it's in perfect shape. As much of a swindler as Dob is, and of course we're trying to fix that. He's a great mechanic, so he fixed this up.
Clearly.
It'll be no problem. And he starts driving and takes you very deep into the forest. And after about 30 minutes, he starts going like every 5 minutes, going like, "Oh, don't worry, we're almost there. We're almost there." And when it gets to be like an
Perhaps
hour,
he's trying to
final-
kill us with boredom.
No, it'll be worth it, I promise. After about an hour, he finally stops the vehicle, and you are very deep in the forest. There's very little light coming in. It's very dark because of all the canopy and overgrowth and everything. Think like middle of like the Amazon rainforest or something like that. Is kind of where you are. And he goes, all right, so these are the hunting grounds of the infamous, the nefarious, the very dangerous saber-toothed Gallet Targ.
Oh, we will catch one. We will make it our pet.
Yeah, so these are the things you'll want to look out for. And he lists like what the tracks look like, what their droppings look like. He even has like this Ziploc type bag in the glove compartment of the vehicle that he pulls out with like very clearly very old saber-toothed Targ poop. It's like, so this is what you want to look for. And he opens up like, when you smell this, you know you're in danger. And he opens it up and it smells horrible. So yeah, that's basically what you're looking for. It lives in this area. Be very careful. It could eat you whole. So you'll want to be very careful. It would be okay. It would take 5 bites probably, but very dangerous. So make sure you're careful. So I wouldn't want any of you to get eaten by a big beast. Certainly not. Any questions?
You are guiding us, correct? You know how to track these things.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be a very honorable hunt if I held your hand the whole time, would it? I imagine you would want to track this down yourself.
Quite right. You go first. This is a bait shop, after all, that we have contracted this adventure from.
We will need bait.
You know, I've got they hate Ferengi. We taste horrible to them, so I would probably scare them away. So I should get the special bait from the back of the vehicle. This stuff's for sure to attract them. So he kind of walks back behind the vehicle and pulls out this bag of they're like grubs, but like the size of like your forearm. They're huge, and they smell awful. And he goes, all right, so what you want to do is just cut this in half and spread it out. And you want to do that near like a cave or a really big tree. That's like where they like to hang out. So just go do that. I'll make sure the car stays okay so we can get back to the shop. And if I see any of them, I'll make a bird call so you know to run back and come get it. And he makes like some weird sounding bird call. Hey, retreat. So you get a boon.
Yes. Which means we're not going to get dumped into the forest, right?
No, this means that we are going to make it our pet. It's going to be nice. It's going to be our friend.
Possibly.
The Ferengi or the Targ?
The Targ.
I mean, I'm not here to judge. Whichever one you want or both.
No. This Ferengi will find a forever home elsewhere.
Boz just like splits the grubs in half with her little weird bat lefts. Before it's like, you know, she keeps it normal and she just just tosses him over her shoulder. It's like, meh. And then she breaks the bat left into its dual wield spot. It was like, all right. And she just stands there super still.
Bob looks at this happening and goes, just supposed to do that away from me, over by a cave.
Well, you better get going. You better run. You better give me your number so I can call you, come pick us up when I'm ready.
That's an excellent point. And like he scribbles something down on a little piece of paper, hands it to you, and then hops in the vehicle to drive
I
away.
immediately call the number before he runs off to see if he answers.
Spotting this goes,
I'm gonna grab one of the baits and throw it into the vehicle with him.
all right. So you see him like grab a communicator, and it's like one of the old original series communicators. So like puts it up to his ear, and he's like hunched over trying to hide it from you, very poorly, and goes, "Yeah, this is Dobbs, whatever log business name I said it was. I already forgot. This is Robert, the other brother. How can I help you?"
Robert.
Is
Is
this
that
you?
what they call
Is that you
Bobs
right now?
nowadays?
There's some interference there. Yes, this is Robert at the shop.
You're full of shit. You're right there. I see you. I'm right here. I kick him.
Oh,
But gently.
you're at the shop. and
Oh no.
Bob sort of jumps up and goes, "Ah, hey, what was that for?"
I was just
Aren't you on the
confirming that
phone with the shop?
No, I'm on the phone with you. Go. You lying
With me?
little
No, I'm not on the phone.
bastard. Yes, you are. I'm not stupid. She
He
just
doesn't stick
grabs
around
him
the
by
park.
the back of his shirt and throws him in his freaking Jeep and tells him to leave. Leave.
He
before
takes
I
off
get
as
you.
fast as he possibly can. And
Oh, and then she throws the grub worm into it as he leaves. We're the worst. What does even happen?
he takes off as fast
Well-
as he can, and probably the last time you're going to see Bob or Robert.
Yeah.
And as
It's been a long road for Bob getting there to here. What's his time finally there?
are you really doing the Enterprise theme right now?
His hopes to come alive at last. I forgot the rest of the song, and they're not gonna hold him down no more. No, they're not gonna hold him down because he's got faith of letting him.
Oh, yes, he
I'll
does. He
stop.
does.
Sorry, I'm such a derailer. Reverse
Hey,
derailer, I
somebody
really
please
am.
clip that. Please clip that. Oh my god. Bosh singing the Enterprise theme song. Oh my god. Whew.
Oh,
Today is a
okay.
good day to die of laughing.
Of laughter. Yes.
all right, how long
Reminds
does
me
it
of
take
my
to
last
get
great
there?
hunt.
So, you're in the middle of nowhere, out in this thick forest.
We're out in the Goonies.
Way out there. You've got plenty of that bait, even though you've thrown half of it around. And there's a lot of like insect noise and bird calls, and it sounds very, very alien and odd. I think I know how I'm going to use the boon now. So, you're trying to hunt for this giant saber-toothed Targ, and as you're listening and lying in wait, you do hear some rustling coming from the undergrowth ahead of you. Would anyone like to investigate what that is?
Well,
Can I do a
Volkris
call?
absolutely would, even though they're probably going to fail miserably at it.
Jadur is not gonna. She is confused. She's asking everyone, "What do we do? I've never been on a hunt. How does this go? Is this normal?"
Tavana
Don't worry,
is telling
Jador.
Jador.
The captain
Shabana's telling
promised that the
Jador-
Ferengi's going to come kill us.
All right, Tavana, go ahead and go.
I was going to say, Tavana's telling Jador about her last great hunt of the snipes and how that went. It was much like this.
Did you say the snipes?
Yes.
Did it involve stacking two sticks together?
Yes. Yes. It did. That's how you attract them.
All
Jadur
right.
just gives a nod. She's still lost as to what this is. They talk about hunts. This is not what she expected.
Okay.
Jador, think of it as when you have a very difficult problem that you are trying to solve. You must be persistent and ruthless in cutting off all other possibilities and tracking down the origin of your difficulty. And then, after a long time and great patience, you will arrive at a solution. Only in this case, the solution is meat.
Remember, not all problems are solved the Klingon way.
But I think this one is.
No, let's see if it's nice.
So, as you're talking, that rustling gets louder and louder. And Valkyrus, you said you wanted to investigate. Did you want to charge in and try to see what it is, or stand back and sort of try to tell what it is and listen? That looks like charging in is the... Okay.
No, not charging in. Just doing things in a very sensible way to not get killed. And then I'll die anyway.
Okay.
What do I
In this case, I think we're going to go with control and security, or science, actually.
Let's go with science.
Information. Okay.
I would like to use my leadership as well to help me out.
Okay. That's going to be 3 successes.
Can I assist with that?
Oh, it actually happened! When it counts the least, it happens the most! Ha-ha!
Yes!
So, with 3 successes in science, you know that this is, just judging by the type of rustling and some of the other sounds, this is probably some sort of great serpent that's approaching. And so you know to look towards the ground, and that rustling is because of something slithering through the underbrush and everything, rather than tromping or walking through. So you kind of have an idea of what to be on the lookout for. Do you share that with your party?
Yes. The creature is the silent and slithering kind.
I'm tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking planet.
So, do we just shoot them, or do we take up close battle? How does this work?
Yes, Batless.
Keep Batless
Yes, and.
handy.
Yes.
But let me lead.
This is the type of thing that I believe is easiest defeated by separating its head from its body.
I don't want to kill animals.
We don't have to. As we have already established, Valkyrus is like here with the plans and then here with the actual execution of the plan.
I was just gonna whistle at it. Come out.
Tavana does not
Come out,
consider
dog.
snakes animals.
You hear like a noise from a giant snake tongue in response to.
Oh no, it's Voldemort. He's trying to talk to us.
My goodness. And with that comment, you see a giant snake head appear out from the bushes. And when I say giant, it looks like it could literally swallow 2 of you whole without even skipping a beat. This thing is massive.
Tavana's going to go running at this thing with her batleth. She's charging into battle.
That's going to start combat. So we'll start with Tavana. And I'm going to do some rolls as well. but you'll want to do, this is definitely daring, and security to attack this thing with your batleth. And I'm going to spend a little bit of threat as well to give myself another die.
That is 2 successes.
Okay. Oof, they did not roll well. That is going to succeed.
All right.
And how much stress does your batleth do? Normally, oh, that's right. You've got the that
Yep.
die. That's right. And it has the vicious thing. Okay, so that's 4, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So as you swing your batleth at it, what are you aiming for? What does your swing look like as you're making contact?
She is aiming to. Is the head like elevated up, or is this
It's
thing
within
staying
reach.
flat on the ground?
It's within reach of you at the moment.
Okay. I mean,
So you
'cause
could
it is.
if you want.
I was gonna say, is the snake just staying flat on the ground, or is that head coming up like this?
The latter. It's the head is starting to come up, but
Okay.
it's not out of your reach yet.
Okay, so that's what she's gonna do. She's gonna run up and just take the batleth and just come right behind where the jaw hinges on that snake and pull down. So she's trying to do this with it.
Okay. As you do notice that you inflict a little bit of damage, but it looks like this hide is really, really tough, and it's surprisingly hard to actually make an incision there. So it's more like a nick rather than an actual slice. So you do some damage, but you seem to mostly have just ticked it off rather than remove a jaw or anything like that. So with that, do you want to, you're currently out of momentum, but you can give me threat to hold the initiative with your side, or you can let the snake go.
I'm the only one that's staying close with it.
Yeah. I mean, you're all
right.
within charging distance, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna give you a threat at this point. I'll go ahead and let
Okay.
the snake have its turn.
All right. So the snake is now very irritated at you. You have drawn aggro, as they say. So it's gonna bite down and just try to eat you, essentially. So to do this, it's certainly going to be security. How would you try to avoid this attack? And that'll determine what attribute we go with.
As part of coming in to make the attack, when she came in and went slicing at that, she would have finished off in a roll to duck and roll underneath to come back up on the other side of it, as if she was preparing for a second strike. So she
Okay.
would have been rolling underneath that head as it was coming up, lifting.
Okay, that seems like it would require a lot of control to be able to control your movements like that and be very fluid. So let's go with control and security.
Can I use a focus of either strategy or tactics with this, as far as hunting goes?
Tactics, yes.
Okay.
So with that, it being an opposed roll, let's add another die to that. So just go ahead and roll
Good.
one more d20. Okay, so you get 1 success. Ooh, they got 3. So you do make an impressive effort to get out of the way. your execution is flawless. The snake's just too big. So it comes down with its mouth. Now, the good news is it doesn't actually bite you. The bad news is you are inside the mouth. So you're undamaged, but inside this thing's mouth, and it's getting ready to swallow.
Oh no.
With that, I'm gonna pass it back to your side. Would anyone like to intervene, or do you want to let Tavana try to figure out what to do about this?
No, I'm intervening.
Okay. What is Valkyris gonna do?
Gotta intervene. Say that again. I'm sorry, I didn't hear the roll.
I just said, what is Valkyris gonna do? How do you want to go about this?
I think they're gonna try and do some, I don't know, like weird sort of snake grappling thing. You know where if you're like the animations where it's like, pry open the crocodile teeth so that the person can get out. Like, maybe I have the proportions wrong, but that's kind of how I'm imagining it. So I'm gonna try and do some kind of like snake grappling thing to give Tavana the chance to get out of the snake's jaws. I'm sure this will be great and nothing will go wrong at all.
Yeah, so that's gonna be fitness, and I will let you choose between command and security for this one.
Oh, command all the way.
Tavana
Play
believes in
into
you,
a
Valkyris.
value. Yeah. But I don't have a focus that
Another
works for
threat
that.
to do 3 dice.
How many successes would I need?
Let's find out. So the snake is obviously going to try to keep its mouth closed. It does not succeed, and it has a complication. So get a success, essentially.
Just one? Okay. Alright, here goes nothing.
Oh no!
Oh no.
So neither of you succeed at what you're trying to do, which is interesting. You're not able to get the mouth open, but the snake does like strain. It exerts itself a little bit too much and is so focused on trying to keep its mouth closed now that it will not swallow Tavana this turn. So that will be the complication.
Something, I guess. Tavana, get out!
So you didn't succeed, but you managed to make it do something so poorly that it's not able to do what it set out to do. So in that, you succeed. Would you like to pass turn to the snake or hold on to the initiative by giving me some threat?
I feel like maybe we should hold on to the initiative and give you some threat, because as bad as that sounds, I don't want anyone to get eaten by a snake, so like let's have another chance to not do that.
Okay. So I'll gain
someone
one
else
threat.
can
And,
do an action.
You've watched Tavana, for all you know, get swallowed by this thing, and Valkyris is struggling to get the mouth open. He wants to do something here.
Kolek's gonna take the bag that had the poo in it, and he's gonna go and like put it up to the giant nostril, the giant snake, to try and get the snake to think that it's eating something real gross.
Snakes smell with, well, I guess
The
it's an
words-
alien snake.
Yeah.
Spit it out. Spit it out. Get that. Spit it out.
Yes.
That's very, very clever.
Drop it.
So that's gonna be I think medicine. We'll do this. I know that's Kolek's strong stat there, and I'll let you do daring or reason, because this is a bit of a daring plan, but it also is clever. So I'll let you choose what you go with there.
Okay. I'm doing daring and medicine. 1 success.
Okay. I'm gonna spend another threat to give an extra die here. and that is 3 successes, one of them crit. So
sorry.
what it does instead,
Oh god.
instead of spitting out Tavana, this thing does have nostrils, and it sort of does like a strong exhale rather than inhale. And it breaks the bottom of the bag, and all of that really nasty smelling Targ droppings just ends up all over you instead.
This is
Do you want to hold turn by giving me threat, or go to the snake? Keep in mind, the snake is not going to swallow Tavana on its turn. It is too focused on keeping its mouth shut.
I think we should hold turn and give you another threat.
Okay. I am all for that. So Baaj and Shador, neither of you have gone yet. Is there anything you would like to do here?
Jador, if you'd like to do anything first.
I
for it.
think Jador's like waiting for the cat. 'Cause, like she's not entirely sure. Do they have this? Is this going okay, or is this gone out of control? She has no idea what normal.
Yeah, we're just gonna sit there like.
It's like
I'm gonna look at you.
I think she occasionally like the look like should I?
Let me try. I'll try to end this. We're just been over here talking while you guys.
I think at some point it's like we just look at like if someone gets swallowed, it's like oh no, this has gone bad.
Yeah, like and then like I would say that Baj is dealt with enough alien species and animals that she's not quite sure if this was hostile in the first place.
This
And
may
that
be
maybe
the single
we-
digits. Yeah, this may be the single
we-
digits that Jador has been outside, so like it's not.
Yeah, I think Baj is going to. She's gonna try to charm the snake.
Snake charm.
She's gonna kinda-
Okay.
She's gonna kind of start getting its attention, and she's gonna sing "Habanera" from Carmen. She was listening to it earlier today.
Oh my god.
How's the song go? L'amor,
Definitely
l'amor,
is-
es un rebel, l'amor con el pie de verbas. I can't speak French, guys. I'm just. This is how Klingons speak French.
Yeah.
Si tu m'appelles, je t'aime. Wait, I'm getting that mixed up with another song.
Now Jador is super confused as to what's going on. This is
Oh my god.
you're singing.
Yeah, I'll get it right. I kept thinking I was mixing it up with Trav, like a rhythm from Trav. L'amour,
That's definitely-
l'amour. There you go.
Oh my god.
What? It's a good callback to earlier in the episode. Shut up.
Oh, that's
That
great.
was
It's just so
You
the
brought this
deepest
snake out
cut.
here. This is what happened.
Yeah, I'm
You
gonna
let us
roll
go on
this
the
out.
time. Like
Let's go retrieve the
Let's
sword
go
of
with
Kahless,
daring.
but also snake charm with opera.
You guys are the
daring
ones.
command.
You three brought this on us, okay? We could have been already at those Ferengi right now, but no, you guys had to go on a hunting excursion. Okay, I'm rolling presence of command. I'm trying to command the snake with my presence.
hey.
Okay.
That's good. Okay. And
Please get
I'm
this
gonna spend 2 threat
God dang it.
and roll 4 actually.
Ha!
Hey, you actually succeed. I only got 1 success on that one. So it's distracted quite a bit here. It's very focused in on what you're doing. So sort of a good news, bad news situation. Good news is it's distracted. Bad news is it lifts its head pretty high. So Tavana is higher above the ground, essentially. And Valkris, I'm going to have you do a fitness and security roll to hold on if you want.
This is fine.
But net top here.
That's
What?
just
Be my
like-
destination.
Is there a way that Tavana can like assist by hear the muffled l'amour coming from inside the snake's mouth?
She could pull down on its uvula at the back of its neck and see if it spits her out. See if you can get to gag.
Snake. I'll fight the snake. We'll save the Klingons and we'll get the sword. Okay.
I have to
Just clip
play
that too,
Carmen now.
somebody.
Somebody clip that. I can't clip that on the show.
You can't clip your own.
My own dang self.
So, how many successes do I need?
Fitness and security, you need 1 success to hold on.
You know what? Just take some threats so I can at least roll 3 dice because I do not like my chances here.
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
Oh my god. Oh
Wait, what?
no.
You try to hold on,
Oh
but
no.
your grip slips and you fall down and land on your butt. You don't take any stress, but maybe your pride hurts a little bit.
Your butt hurts
Oh.
a little bit.
Your-
My
your-
pride and my butt hurts. This is so
Yeah, you're big
depressing.
butt hurt about it, aren't you?
We will not
You
speak
know
of this
what that-
outside of this
So
group.
What? Did you
are
say my
you
name?
giving me-
Raj?
Yes. Are you giving me more threat to hold the turn, or is it passing to the snake?
Can someone else make that decision, please? Because
No, I
If
did
you
not have
have
to
to-
make
oh,
a decision because it was me.
I don't think I should do any more actions for a little while.
I think we should let it have a turn because honestly, like, I don't want to give you any more
does.
threat. 'Cause you just tried to use,
Yeah.
at least you blew
Yeah.
through your threat on a roll that you failed.
Yeah.
So,
What you do for love, love will get you in
Yeah.
trouble. That's what
when you're
happens.
ready to fail, I'll get some threat from you. How about that?
Yeah, like
All right.
Volcris just needs to stop verbing for a little while and just not do anything.
So
I'm trying to make the snake our friend
So-
because how cool would it have been to roll
Yeah.
to go to school?
We're gonna put this-
snake is now very distracted. It's not focused on keeping its mouth shut now, but it's fascinated by Carmen, and so it does not try to swallow Tavana just yet. But I think it is going to try to shove the smelly doctor away because smells bad, and
Kinda
it's
like-
distracting the snake
Out
from
of the way.
enjoying this wonderful music. So it's gonna sort of like swing its tail at you there.
All
Colette.
part of my plan.
Perfect. I'm gonna spend a threat
Oh my god.
to roll,
Yes.
to roll one
Absorb
extra
the threat.
d4. And then, how would you like to avoid this tail that's swinging at you?
I think I want to try and take the hit and get the tail. You know, like I want to take it, but like get some purchase on this thing.
I'm just imagining an alligator, somebody trying to catch an alligator's tail right
Yeah,
now.
my tail. Oh no.
Col-
The non-dangerous
Colin's
animal.
going full Steve Irwin.
Yeah, that's definitely daring.
Never go.
And we're going to do
It's like
daring
rodeo.
and command here to take this hit and try to get purchase.
Can I
and-
use
and
a,
really dig in.
Hand-to-hand combat.
Sure. So is that a focus?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it is.
Go ahead and throw in another die. Well, it's not really going to matter all that much. But you will get some momentum off that. So it's going to be 3 momentum.
You said add
Cool.
one more.
Yeah, go ahead and add 1 more die.
Whoa.
Damn.
Okay. That'll put you at
Bunch of
5
bunch of
momentum.
momentum. Nice.
Fantastic. It hits you. It's still going to hurt, so take a stress. But it's a lot less than it would have been, and you have a firm hold on this tail. The snake's turn is over, but a new challenger arrives. and from the underbrush, you hear just the sound of little paws running and trampling through the underbrush, and this tiny, not at all what the Ferengi described. It's like a normal size, medium-sized dog, a full-grown saber-toothed. What did I say the name of the planet was? Gallet. Gallet. Targ. Runs up and bites down on this thing's tail, causing it to open its mouth and spit out Tavana. This is your boon, by the way.
I thought the snake was our boon.
No, the snake spits out Tavana, sort of hisses in pain, and quickly slithers off, ending your encounter. But Kolek, this dog, is very attached to you now, and is just like licking your face and thinks you're the best because you smell like Targ poop.
You are one of my people, is what the dog thinks.
So what do we do now?
We go
This
back.
is-
We have captured.
is-
Kolek has captured the beast. Now we can return.
Olek has a look on
She
his
looks at
face like everything is going perfectly well. Like this is just exactly what was supposed to happen.
The door has
Yep,
the
yep,
opposite
Tavana's-
look. Like this is like
Yes.
this is like what the hell?
Baj looks
I'm
Yeah,
with
very
Tavana's
Tavana's
Jadora
playing
on
this
this
out
one.
just like
that her secret.
This is not what
Yeah,
usually
Tavana's playing
happens.
this
I'm
off-
with Jadora on this one.
Tavana's
What
playing
if
this
you
off.
keep the awkward
That's the way it should be.
That's perfect. And I think that's a good spot for us to wrap up the session here. So you defeated the snake. And
Yeah,
now you have a
we
pet.
Did we?
Targ.
Or did the snake defeat us?
I was on my way to making friends with that snake, and he was going to be our ship snake, and he was going to live in a part of the ship that if
No,
somebody
no
screwed with
snakes.
us, we'd be like, oh, let's go.
It's the part where you
Let's
want the
go.
whales.
Nope, no snakes.
Just live there.
Nope,
Yeah.
don't do snakes. No snakes. Mm-mm.
No
giant
Saber-tooth
snake.
Targ, yes.
Little,
Snakes.
so.
No snakes. No snakes. Mm-mm.
Oh, good.
Nope.
That was
I would even
I'm still
glad
settle
we
with
didn't kill
cats,
snakes.
but
Yeah.
that was a
Uh,
thing.
That
Before
was the most
we,
random thing.
we're going to give everybody a
Klingon
chance to talk
shopping
about their favorite-
episode.
Yeah, and where we can find them. Real quick note, though,
Or-
I wanted to say thank you to, again, Mayhem Press. They refinished up the Dark Matter finale recently, and that's up on YouTube. Also, Cult Divinity Lost from Helmgas, and of course, Modifius for making this amazing game. It's so much fun. So thank you to the sponsors. Yeah, let's go around and talk about our favorite parts. We're going to go opposite order from how we did the intros. So Buster, real quick, what was your favorite part and where can we find you next?
I'll tell you my least favorite part when the snake went away. I was really making friends with him. I was working on it,
sorry.
man. You guys, I was
Maybe you
working
can-
on it. No, but no, seriously, my favorite part
Maybe you
was
come back later and try again.
my favorite part was just literally like everything that y'all did when Jadora and I were away. Like Jadora and I just coming back to being like, what is going on with you guys? So it's like this weird, funny bonding moment for Baj and Jadora of like being like, yeah, we're the sane ones, right? Right? Yeah.
I have no idea how
Anyway,
this works. I have no idea how this works.
But yeah, that was my favorite. And what else was I supposed to say? Who I like?
Where can we find you next?
Oh yeah, I'm here on Twitch, Buster the Destroyer. You can find me here on Twitch. I play video games throughout the week, yada yada, and I do like Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and hopefully I'll be back to Fridays. This weekend. I'm at the last installment of our Capricorn drive-in for the summer. And we've been playing films and having bands and stuff. So if you're in the Dallas area, check us out because we're bringing live entertainment to you in a way that's safe for you during this pandemic, via drive-in and things like that. But I think that's it. Yeah, look for me on Twitch. Follow me, Tequodos. Follow me on there, and on Twitter. Buster Destroyer on Twitter, Buster the Destroyer on Twitch. There you go. That's me.
All right. Next, Shauna, what was your favorite part, and where can we find you next?
God, this was a lot of fun. I love the Bob Dob thing. I love Avatar, and that made me very happy. And just how much it frustrated everybody was so great. Also, I love that little the little scene with Valkyrie. It's just kind of like everyone's cool. And oh boy, and Jador still has no idea really how a hunt works. So this was like this. She's lost. She is maybe more lost than she started out big. But yeah, Shauna Flying Cirrus on Twitter. Art in the games I play. Next time you'll probably see me is on Saturday on Wandering DM for Black Flag Pirate Powered by the Apocalypse game. Things are dire. I in love with a demon, and I intend, I think, to sacrifice my crew to free my demon love. So they might kill me. So things are dire. And Monday is the Crownlands around this channel Power Roleplay. Things are also as bad. I am a traitor. My family wants to kill me, and we might be fighting some witches. So things are great.
Intense stuff.
It's a lot of bad choices I've made and consequences of action. So hey,
it could be worse. You could be covered in Targ poop. Next, I'll hop over to Anna. What was your favorite part, and where can we find you next?
Oh my god. So many favorite things. Top ones are Tavana intimidating the heck out of that guy, because that was just like ridiculously fun. Of course, I love the conversation between Valkyris and Jador. That was definitely gonna happen. I was hoping sooner rather than later, and then we had to take our hiatus, and I was like, okay, this conversation is happening this session. I'm gonna make it happen. And I also I said it in the green room chat earlier, but I just love how I tried so hard to create this character that was like really good at academic skills and like was gonna do all these cool things. And the dice are just not on my side, but like I actually kind of love that, because Valkyris is just like, okay, I can tell if this sword is fake and if someone is lying. And aside from that, just they try very hard, but they're a total mess. And like I'm enjoying that a lot more than I anticipated, because I couldn't have anticipated it. Where can you find me? You can find me on the internet at Nymeria941, which is my handle up above. Mostly I'm hanging out on Encounter Roleplay, especially within the Discord server right now. I do also have an upcoming game that I'm going to be GMing on the Heroes Without Limits Twitch channel. That's a channel that is dedicated to content created by disabled, chronically ill, and neurodivergent content creators. And I'm going to be GMing an original City of Mists adventure with them that is called This Rough Magic, where everybody plays as a character that has a real life myth or legend living inside of them. So if you like mythology, if you like fairy tales and their retellings, definitely go check that out. That's going to start as I look at my calendar, because I totally remember things when I don't write them down. Next Wednesday, it's going to start next Wednesday. We're going to do a session 0 on stream, and it's going to be a great time. And that's it.
Awesome.
You can
Sounds really
find
cool.
me just drowning my sorrows at not being able to succeed at my dice rolls in blood wine after this.
All right. Next, we've got Kat. What was your favorite part, and where can we find you next?
Oh, my favorite part. I definitely Valkyris and Jador's conversation was my favorite part. That's honest. We're not normally this kind of Klingon group. We can accomplish things. We will find the sword eventually. But yeah, of ever shopping episode ever, this was my favorite shopping episode, Klingon shopping episodes, because this was great. I loved it. Where can you find me next? Next will be next week on Wednesday at, is it 3 p.m. Eastern for One Shot Wednesdays. Terror RPG, which is a system that is being created by Jonathan Fry and Charlie and a few other people, and it's amazing, and it's frightening, and it's scary, and I can't wait for our session 0 this Saturday, and then We'll be doing that on Wednesday for One Shot Wednesdays. Another place you can see me, and you can also see Anna, is on our YouTube channel. We just finished up, we had EncounterCon this past weekend, and we kicked things off with a murder mystery, ghost story, horror game called Stille Nacht. And you can see Anna and I not being silly in that game. And it's, yeah. So check out those. The rest of the games are going up throughout the week on our YouTube channel. So please go check those out if you didn't get to see them live, or if you just want to see them again. There was some great content this weekend.
And then next, Dev, what was your favorite part, and where can we find you next?
My favorite part was getting to hype man Tavana in the shop, and then be the oblivious third wheel on her date. That was quite enjoyable. I'm Dev. You can find me on Twitter at DevPresto, and you can find me right here next week. Same Star Trek channel, same Star Trek time.
Awesome. That just leaves me my favorite part, sort of a two-parter. My favorite part is the fact that you didn't get into a fight in the weapon shop, which I fully expected to happen, and instead you ended up getting into a fight over the Ferengi Dob/Bob/Robert. So I think that was probably my favorite part, is just the unexpected, and also the fact that I was doing the basically the guy from the last Airbender, like that was the concept, and then Anna just immediately going, "Oh my god, this guy," knowing exactly what I was doing. That was great. This whole episode was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. You can find me next. Let's see, today's Thursday. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, doing a Monster of the Week game on my own channel, which is called Neon Devils, and it's sort of a urban fantasy thing. It's going to be really cool. Very much looking forward to that. And then we've got a game later that same day on my channel as well. That's twitch.tv/RAVVYN. And then you can also follow me on Twitter, just at the Raven, like it says right above my head here. Yeah, this was fantastic. Thank you all for watching. Thank you to everybody who did subscriptions and donations and retweets and all that. Thank you so much. And yeah, we will see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Where I'm going, I don't know. 1, 2, 3, we heard it.